It's 3 out of 3 for Rivers Hoopers right there at the Basketball African League in Dakar, Senegal. And of course, they are in a pole position to book a place in the playoff in Kigali in June. Welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos.
Sporty greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us in London. I'm Austin Okonakwan. Huge nights in the UEFA Champions League. Second leg semi-final game between Borussia Dortmund and Paris Saint-Germain. It ended goalless. No, halftime finished goalless. If I say ended, Cecilia, so I think it's over. But it is Dortmund that has the advantage from the first leg. A slim 1-0 lead. Can PSG and Kylian Mbappe find a way back? We're monitoring that one on the show tonight, Cecilia.
All right, we'll see if they can actually do that, because that is the holy grail for PSG. Why some teams have won it 14 times. Now, the two teams that are playing on Wednesday, they've won it 20 times in between them. You have Real Madrid 14, and of course, for Bayern Munich 6 times. That's a lot, and PSG actually chasing just one Champions League trophy. This is what the show looks like tonight. We'll be talking about the UEFA Champions League, which we just mentioned. Of course, games going on. We'll give you updates of that and also talk about the games for tomorrow, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. And of course, touchdown on home soil. Well, we're talking about the Nigeria Premier League. Yes, the games, outstanding games that's currently going on. Remo Stars, after 9 attempts, finally got one better over Rivers United. And also, of course, we go to Dakar, Senegal, where Queen will be joining us, the media officer of Rivers Hoopers, to tell us the updates coming from there. Rivers Hoopers is 3 out of 3. You know what it means to beat 2022 champions. And of course, the home team. Now they're 3 on 3 from there in Dakar, Senegal. Yes, we'll touch down on what happened in Bahamas at the weekend, where Nigeria went with 4 relay teams. They all qualified for the Olympics. I mean, for the first time in 16 years, the 4x100 meters men qualified for the Olympics. That's what we'll be celebrating on the show tonight. And also, yes, a touchdown on some other events are currently going on around the world of sport. Yes, I'm not alone on the show. Of course, you know, Austin is in London. I just talked now. And Kende Idris is here. It's a Tuesday, of course. He's happy to be here. Kende,
yeah,
hi.
And it's good to have you here. I think it's been a very long while since shared the studio together. Always interesting to be here on Tuesday, and then whenever I see the lineup, always juicy. And today it's no difference. I think Rivers Hoopers is getting everybody's attention, not just in Nigeria, but even outside the shores of the country. Because if you just put side by side the performance last year, performance this year, I think that's a massive growth. And some say we've got some. Maybe we say white guys in the team. You should look in when you see a bit of a step up when it comes to the setup. You should get something more.
They recruited well, and of course, it's really paying off for Rivers Hoopers right there in Dakar, Senegal, where the Basketball African League Season 4 is going on. Yes, so let's start off with the World Athletics Relays. At the weekend, it was good news all over. Yes, the 4x400 meters women couldn't. Injuries and, of course, visa issues, they couldn't travel. But this is what we're going to show you right now, how it went down at the weekend for Team Nigeria, their performance in Bahamas. Now, let's start off with what the 4x400 meters men did. Samuel Ogazi, Ella Onunjewo, and Chidi Okezi and Esther Elo. Now, they combined. They finished 4th in the final of mixed relay, but that was after they qualified a day before the final. They also recorded an African record. They had an African record of 3 minutes, 12.87 seconds. For the men's 4x400 meters quartet, you have Dubem Uwanchuku, Dubem Amene, and of course you have Chidi Okeze also joining them. He had to run 2 races, on that day when they qualified for the mixed relay and also for the 4x400 meters relay because of injuries and visa issues that some athletes couldn't travel. He had to do that back to back on the same day. So he was the star of the show. Powered the team in the mixed relay and also powering the team in the 4x400 meters men's relay. So they also had the fastest time in 20 years to secure qualification for the Olympics. The last time we had this kind of a run was in Athens in 2004. But right now you're having Team Nigeria in the mixed relay and also the 4x400 meters relay going to Paris in August. Now, let's flip over to the other performers. Now, the 4x400 meters men and women couldn't qualify on the first day because they finished above qualification spots in the heat. But the second day, they had opportunity to actually qualify. And, of course, they did justice to that. Justina in favor of Philia Onlainka combined and Tima Gobless combined for 42.7 seconds to qualify for the Paris game. Udodi Oworezike, Consider, Alaba Okita, and Sheye Ogunleye, and of course, Kaliti and Numagba, all of them were able to get 38.57 seconds to finish a second in the heat, of course, behind Ghana, who won ahead of Nigeria in their heat, and both teams actually qualified the first time in 16 years. Now, the news about this 4x400 meters, 4x100 meters men is the fact that all the teams at the African Games, Nigeria, Ghana, and Liberia, they all qualified for the Olympics. So you have African teams actually running the show right there in Bahamas. So this is what the performance looks like for Nigeria in Bahamas. I'll come to you quickly. Austin, I think we should go to London now. Austin, quickly, a quick one on this one. I mean, the running, yes, the 4x400 meters women couldn't make it. Injuries and visa issues, they couldn't. But they are second. If you check the list, all-time list, they're second behind the leader. So they have opportunity to, if it stays that way, they'll book a ticket. But if it doesn't, they have from now till June to get a ticket to go to Paris.
I hope it stays that way, you know, because we always have the 4x4 100 meters women's, you know, relay team represent us at the Olympics, and it'd be good to have them do just that again. Yes, some will say, do they go out there to win? But that representation means so much for that particular event, you know. So I'm hoping it stays that way so they can qualify. But shout out to the other guys, excuse me, who did the work, particularly the 4x4 mixed relay team. That team, they always improve on their African record. Shout out to Chidi Okezie, ran that race and also went on to run the 4x400 meters men.
All right, I'll quickly get your thoughts on this one. I mean, usually, I'm tired of talking about visa issues. Let's talk about the performance of this team now against all odds. I mean, they didn't have the best of the players. I mean, you see the way it was drafted. The 4x400 meters miss relay. Usually, we know the regulars, but they couldn't go. But then we have other players, other athletes actually coming in, and they were able to perform. And I mean, Chidi Okezie, kudos to him for what he was able to do in one day. I mean, running 400 meters, back to back. That's a whole lot for someone like that.
Yeah, I know Chidi so well. And I was telling some colleagues who are a bit far from him, probably they just know his name. I said, if it comes to, being very stylish, you like to, you being a fashionista and all of that, Chidi is that man.
Yeah.
But also Chidi is a proper professional. If you've seen him, go about, they almost qualified just some weeks ago, which was very painful. You need to see his reaction. He was refusing to really talk to the media because he knew where he wanted to get to. And then this time he said, whatever it takes to be here, I will cross the line. And after I saw the first performance, he needed to stand in for the second performance, and he did that. And that's what it is all about. The relay is all about teamwork. How well can you guys, be there for each other? And I saw proper teamwork. And also, Cecilia, it's so painful that Nigeria is a country that we don't build on our strength. We don't work so hard on our strength. Go from time, from time past, relays are our strength. Countries from around the world understand when this quartet, whether it's 4x1, 4x4, when they come together, Nigerians, they know how to conquer the entire world. But we don't build on that. We find our performance, dwindling when we know we've got it in there. And I think this time, probably the administrators are being reminded that this is our strength and we need to put in more. And for the world, watch out at the Olympics.
Watch out at the Olympics, and we should be happy that, yes, most of the athletes are based in the US. So that's why, just imagine most of them are here. Visa issue would have been a problem. And for the first time, we're having the world relays actually serving as qualifiers for the Olympics. So 14 teams are qualified from the games in Bahamas, while the other two will join the team before June. All right, let's listen to the ladies that made the 4x100 meters ticket possible.
I feel so good, I feel so blessed also. It hasn't been easy though, but to give God the glory for making me to be here today. So I'll say thanks to God, and also thanks to everyone watching, thanks to my coach, and thanks to the Federation.
I feel great that I'm here, and I feel happy, competing with these amazing ladies, and also I'm grateful for my coach because he came here with me and the team up. So I'm very, very grateful for my coach, and I feel happy, representing my country girls for the Olympics.
I think it's just the beginning, and I'm actually learning, I'm taking corrections, and I just love the fact that I'm adding on to my experience. So I
think I'll do better next time. Yeah. Let's like did a great job. Second leg did a great job. When Complex did a great job. When I got batted, all I think of was the finishing. Was the finishing? Don't cry.
All right.
I thank God and I thank my coach also for giving me the opportunity to be here. He came here with me, Favor, and Ella. So I thank God.
Congratulations. And one more thing on 3. Can you say paradise to Paris? 1, 2, 3.
Paradise to Paris!
Yeah, what a performance from the ladies. If you can't do it at first, you have to dust yourself up and try again. And that was what they did on Sunday night. Austin, I mean, the men also, the guys have been talking how they nick a ticket. It wasn't about the Jollof Derby this time around because it's at the World Championships, and so they need to show up. And they showed up. Yes, Ghana won, but these guys were smiling.
Cecilia, I was really praying for the 4x100 meters men's team, you know, right after the women's team qualified. I was saying, I hope they do it. They didn't do it in the first try, and in the second try, it was just good enough. I remember with what they did at the African Games, it would be good to see them, you know, continue and sustain that momentum. Shout out to the women's team. I think they somehow motivated the men's team, you know, to go out there and also pick a ticket to the Olympics. And I see some progression. I like the level of progression that we're having with the relay team. For instance, Olajide Olayinka, remember, Cecilia, we're talking about the African Games. And look at her now. She's beaming with confidence, saying that she knows things will get better. I was with Tima, God bless, at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. She couldn't even make the team. They had to tell her to leave Birmingham to go run the World Junior Relays, the World Junior Championships. But look at her now with the team, and she's likely to, you know, impress also at the Olympics. And Favor of Philly, the level of consistency and maturity that she's showing every time she steps out, runs the 200, and also runs the 100. And that's why I want to give the ladies their flowers, because right after they qualified, I knew that the men would pick some level of motivation from that race and then go on to also execute that. Let's listen to the men's team right after qualifying for the Olympics.
It felt good. My main focus is just putting the team in the best position to go and win this race. And I felt like I did. Everybody went out there and executed. I thought it was a great race. Can't be happier.
It feels good. I'm so happy. You know, to what yesterday, our passing exchange yesterday was like, you know, but today we didn't say that we are good to go. Today is a day, all right, so we do the hard.
Fantastic. For 1 second, I'm like, bro, what's going on? I could see like 3 people outside, and I'm like, yeah, it's not about the winning, it's just about getting the ticket. So I need to do my best and, you know, pass the baton to second place, and he was able to take it over the same spot.
Now, I would say, I mean, a little pressure, but at the end of the day, we thank God. You know, we came out here, they trusted me, and we got the job done, so that's the biggest thing for us.
We beat Ghana in the backyard, and now they're beating you here. What's your response?
I mean, we're not worried about it. We're not worried about it.
You know, it's not a kitchen fight this time. It's against the world. Yeah, so we do kitchen fight in Paris.
Yeah. So I'm saying our main goal today was coming in to qualify. We're not really looking like to attack anyone. You know what I mean? So we qualified and we move forward to the next thing.
Memorable. Being able to qualify in 2 relays. I want to say every single relay we ran, we qualified. So words cannot explain. Felt good breaking the African record. So then we got 4, so just shy off the podium. So we can't complain. I think that was the highest finish Nigeria has in a long time for a relay. So I always feel like I'm in shape. My coach always trained me for, I'm a strength, speed 400-meter runner. So when we got here and a few of our guys had visa issues, I knew I would have to be the one to step up and just bring the team to where we needed to go. So after the Olympics, like I said, I had to make some business decisions. I switched coaches. I started taking more things serious, like my nutrition, recovery. So I do recovery a lot more, just making sure I take care of my body, because I always say my body's like a Ferrari. So you gotta put right things in, fuel, greens, protein, and I say you put good things in, good things will come out. So.
From the Bahamas, let's go straight to Dakar, Senegal, where Queen Mosef is standing by, the media officer of Rivers Hoopers, to tell us. I know she's excited. 3 wins out of 3. Queen, how are you doing? Good evening.
Good evening, Cecilia. I'm doing great.
I know.
Very, very great.
I can see that. Now, I don't know where to start. I mean, going into Basketball African League, we're like, okay, the River Supers, usually they win 1 game and maybe lose the other 2 and then come back. Now, for the first time since they started competing, they missed it just once. I mean, this is their 3rd time competing. Kwara were the ones who had to break the jinx, so to speak, because River Supers are always the Nigerian champions, always going. Now, what has happened this year is what is surprising everyone. Is it the level of recruitment? Or what did Rivers Hoopers, what did they do right to have this kind of result? The first game, it was a fantastic win. Second game, the same thing. And this one, it was a 21-point game victory.
Yeah, what we did well was to recruit very well because after the 2021 edition where we competed in Rwanda, we understood that to compete at the BAL, the level of the BAL, and compete favorably, you need to acquire quality players. The players we got in did just fine, but it could have been better. And being that it's our debut season and we didn't know what exactly we should have done, but still we were able to win 1 game out of 3. Despite the fact that it was a bubble season, it was a COVID year. The last time we played was in 2019. We had not even played all through 2020. Then coming into 2021, also, there was no basketball league across Nigeria. So it was just pick-up games, friendly games across Port Harcourt, and also friendly matches as well that got us prepared for the BAL. And we lost our first game, we lost our second game. We lost our first game to Patriots of Rwanda. Second game against US Monastir before picking up against the Madagascar team. So it was like a preparatory game for us in that one, even though we didn't know what to do. But we picked ourselves up and we told ourselves this time around that we are getting back, although we should have competed in 2022. But because of the old basketball tussle in the MBBF, and we were thrown out by FIBA because the ministry had got involved with the league at that time. So, but back in the BAL, we're very excited to compete. We told ourselves when we qualified in November, winning the Nigerian League in November in Port Harcourt, we told ourselves, the management came together that this time around we need to compete. We're not here to make up the numbers. And we also wanted to learn, not just from our first outing in 2021, but also from the outing of Kwara Falcons. We knew that when they went there, it wasn't nice for them because they were not able to win 1 game out of 5, compared to our own time where we were able to win 1 out of 3. So we learned from their own mistakes, from our own mistakes in 2021, and now we told ourselves that this time around, we're going to do better. And that was why, recruitment-wise, preparation, we had to do better. So we had to put ourselves together. What kind of players are we bringing in? Look, what are the areas we need to beef up? We needed a natural, we needed a wonderful point guard, and that is why you're seeing the presence of Will Perry, the quality of player that he is. We looked at the number 2 position. I know that we have good shooting guards, but we needed also a combo guard as well, and that's why we brought in Kelvin Amayo. We also looked at the center position. We needed a center, and that's why we went for Peter Olisemeka, who is a Nigerian, even though he had not been in Nigeria for the last 5 years. He has played across Romania, Turkey, and the rest like that. Good enough, the BAL also gave us an elevate player. Remember that they tried to add NBA Africa Academy players across all the 12 teams. So the player they added for us, David Ike, also a center player. So adding a couple of this, then John Wilkin, all these players put together were players we need. Then not to forget Divine AK, who was on fire for the D Tigers in February at the AfroBasket in Tunisia. So when we looked at all these players together, we said, okay, these are the quality players what we want. Not just quality also, we wanted players who are humble, who will be able to mingle with the local players. There will not be any form of segregation. There will be chemistry within them, off and on the court. They'll be able to blend enough. And also we needed time for preparation. And that was why most of them joined us a month before we got to Dakar. So preparation was key. Recruiting quality players was also key. I know a lot of people were like, have been like, oh, we've not had a league. since November. How come we're able to do that? But the way the BL works, you have to infuse 4 or 5 foreign players or foreign imports to your team. So, but you now will now know how to put this player, how to infuse the local guys as well as the foreign imports together. So we understand that our foreign imports, most of them...
We need to go on a break. So we'll get back to you after this. Welcome back. So let's take a look at how the team were able to get this far. Talking about, you know, their opening game was against AS Douanes, the home side. I mean, let me quickly ask you, when you're playing against a home team, you know, the crowd and the Senegalese fans, we know what they can do when they come out to watch basketball. I mean, we have more than 8,000, you know, watching from that arena, which was fantastic for the home team. Massive also. But the way Rivers Hoopers were able to carry on, they didn't look at the team, and that they were runner-up last year. So you're looking at that pedigree that they have, playing at home, runners-up, and being able to just roll it over and see if they were playing their own home.
Also a very, very good team. AS Douanes is a very fantastic team. So aside playing at home and all of that, you're playing a good side. Anywhere River Supers plays the Honest, you understand that they understand that they are playing a good team. Then you're faced with the home fans. You need to get past the noise, the deafening noise from the home fans. Then you also need to understand that this is a team that knows these courts very well. But this is one thing I say about, you know, coming back to a place over and over and over and over again. River Supers have been here. They've stumbled, they've fallen, they've risen.
They've learned their lessons.
And look at, even Queen said, we learned not just from our own mistakes, also from the mistakes of Kwara Falcons. And they have been here like 3 times. And this time they need to make that lesson show. I was seeing it. They understand you don't finish a game at the middle of the 4th quarter. You need to get to the end of the 4th quarter. That is when you've done a rounded game. And that's what it is. Look at the kind of players, the mixture, the coach, and all of that. These are things that coming to that level over and over again gives to you. And trust me, by the time, I don't know if they will go all the way this time. By the time they come back next year, if they do, they will be better than what we've seen now. So, fantastic one. And I want to see them just go on gliding. They play some amazing basketball, not just struggling to win. Beautiful basketball we've seen with River Supers.
All right, let's just quickly take a look at, I've talked about the performance of River Supers so far, but then this is what it's looked like. US Monastir, that's the game. I mean, Tunisia, that's Tunisia champions, and also 2022 champions. Now, just take a look at this result, 63-84. That's what happened. And if you can see all the games that they played before this one, this was the one that was played at this evening. Now, the very first game, the second game they played on Saturday, APR and Rivers Hoopers, of course, it was 82-86. This was a close one against Rwanda champions. And then their very opening game where they had to play against the home side. Now, this is how the result looks like, 77-68, right there in Dakar, Senegal. Rivers Hoopers, they came, they saw, and they conquered. Queen, you were on a run concerning how the recruitments have actually helped. And some of us were asking some questions. I mean, why didn't you guys use a majority of the home-based players? But we know what's happening right here in basketball in Nigeria. There is no league. I mean, what you have are just 1 month or 2 months, players, clubs comes together, play games, and then you select a champion. And after that, you wait for like 6 months or even 1 year before you have something else. Now, how the home base actually, you know, keeping up with these foreign guys that were brought into the team?
Well enough. I know a lot of people will wonder and expect that we will not do well.
Yeah.
We don't have a league. Last time we arose where you have to add 4 or 5 recruits, especially foreign players, 2 from outside Africa, maybe 2 from within Africa, and then diaspora players. It could be from Nigeria and all of that. So, but you are permitted to do so. And then you look at the players we brought in. Will Perry has played for Beira of Mozambique. He has played twice, 2022-2023 BAL. Even won top scorer last year. Even held the record for most points scored in a game, 41, before it was surpassed by another player in the Nile Conference last month. You look at John Wilkins and Kevin Amayo. These 2 players played for Stade Malien. And they were instrumental in Stade Malien's third place finish last season. It was their debut season as well. So you brought all these players together, and you know that they are just bringing quality, they are bringing experience, and they are very humble players. When they react and interact with other local players on the court or off the court, you know that they want them to learn from them. They also want to add up to their style of play and their quality as well. How are the local guys taking it? I think they are taking it well because they understand that the team wants to win. It's not about me playing major minutes and then we're losing. It's about we winning and playing collectively. And I like the way Coach Ogo is going about it. You understand, like in our first game, one of those local players, when he was brought in on the court, just a bit of a shiver because he has never played in the BAL. He turned over the ball because the stage was overwhelming for him. So imagine if we had just stuck with just the local players and not been able to churn out enough money to go for these players. It would have been a very big issue because to get these players, I know, is money. You need a lot of money, not just the subsidy that BAL provides for you. You also need the backing of the organization or from the state that you are playing for. And that is what we have done now. The River State government has supported, and that is why we are here. So the thing is, the local players are doing well. They're taking it well because at the end of the day, the team is winning, and they're all part of the team. I love the fact that the way Coach Ogo is infusing them. 2 minutes, 1 minute, the other foreign pros, they take a rest, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, they get to play, they go back. So you will not get to see like a disparity in the quality of the players that are on court. At the end of the day, it is the style of play that Coach Ogo plays, and that is what the foreign imports are all playing together. We'll have one goal. Our goal is to get to the playoffs, of which we are on course. Technically, we've made the playoffs, but we saw how last year played out.
Yes.
All 4 teams finished on 3 wins, and at the end of the day, they had to go back on goal difference. So we don't want that to happen. We've won 3 games. We want to win more. If we get to win 4, good. If it's 5, good. But our target is to make the playoffs. And I think we are on course. We are 1 leg into Kigali. We just need to finish the job. So, but credit to Coach Ogo and the coaching crew who have made sure that these players, the foreign guys and as well as the local guys, there's a blend between all of them. The local guys cannot really play at this top level. Some can, but the level that we are in, Coach Ogo will have to find a way to infuse them. You can't completely let all the local guys be on the court because you look at it, we've not played since January. The only competition we played was the Louis Edem, which quite helped us because that was our preparatory tournaments ahead of the BAL. So, but aside that, it was just normal playing ourselves. We played against Hoops and Reed, then playing some free friendlies against some Port Harcourt-based sides in Port Harcourt. One side that we've not had enough. So, but I'm happy that the players, the foreign imports, got in quickly, got in early. We had 1 month to prepare with them, to infuse our style of play in them as well, to understand how we play and what is expected of them to play and how we should play. So, and that is the result you are seeing on court.
All right. Okay, Austin, Austin's got some questions for you.
Yeah, just one, because I think Queen has done a good job. Queen, let me start by saying I'm sorry I never believed in this team, and I'm sure you can't blame me, you know, because of everything that you've highlighted, but they've made me so proud. Tell them we love them for these performances. They kept improving. And what a performance against US Monastir, because I was thinking that was going to be a very difficult game, but they made light work of it. You said 1 more road to go. How confident are you that this Rivers Hoopers team will keep it going?
I'm very confident. Like you didn't give us a chance. I know, like you didn't give us a chance. I know that there are a lot of you, like you, that didn't give us a chance. But realistically, for me, after seeing the recruitment that we did, credit to the management. They didn't just leave it to the head coach to do the recruitment. In short, we all had to put our heads together. Me, the head coach, the GM, other assistant coach, we all had to put our heads together. I know I'm a media person, but I understand that I've been to the BAL a couple of times, so I know some certain players, how they play and what they will bring. So when they bring some kind of player, I'll be like, Coach, no, you don't want to go there. This guy might give us what we want, but off the court is terrible. He's not a team player. So we all had to put our heads together to make sure that we put up this team, and that is why we are saying this. So when I saw the kind of players that we are going to bring in, I had that level of confidence that I know, yes, people might not expect that we'll win the tournament, but I knew we were going to make it to the playoffs, and that's our target. Whatever happens in Kigali, we don't know, but I know that now we've made halfway through the playoff. Can we take it far? I think so. We are going to play these teams twice. We've won all 3 games facing all of these 3 teams. I know facing Asduan of Senegal, the home team, it will be very, very difficult this time around because playing against Asduan, they don't always do well in their first game. We knew that. And that was why we took advantage of it. Despite the fact that they had the backing of the fans and all of that, we know that they don't always do well. Last year, they didn't start well. It took them their 2 opening losses to pick up from the 3rd game. The season before that, DUC, Dakar University, who represented Senegal, also didn't have a good start. So we had to take advantage of that. So we know that this time around, they'll come back wounded. They'll come back fighting, also with the backing of their fans. We understand it to be very difficult. The players understand how difficult it is, but they are all focused. Our focus is we have to make Kigali. Whichever way, whether it's 4 wins, 5 wins, we go unbeaten. We don't know how we want to do it, but we want to get there. So the players are all focused. They finish celebrating. If you go back to their rooms, they're all back to And I love the fact that what the coaching crew is doing. After every game, we go back to a video session. We try to watch our mistakes, the players' mistakes of the previous game. So there's always a video session outside the fact that they go on practice session. So we look back at all the mistakes that was done in the previous game, of which they'll be doing that later tonight ahead of the next game. So they are focused, they are prepared, and they are ready to go. These players that I see now, they are not ready to back down. They want to go ahead. And for that game against Monastir, if you remember in 2021, Monastir defeated us for over 19 points in that game. So we have that in mind that these guys knocked us off in 2021. We are also wounded. We have to take back our pound of flesh. We have to do it now. This time around that US Monastir are a bit shaky. They are not as dominant as we used to see that fear factor. This is the best time to defeat your opponent when they are down. And we got that.
Thank you. That's it. All the best to your team, Queen. I'll give them our love and support. I promise now that I'm supporting them. I'm believing in them. That's a success.
Thank you. Thank you.
Continue to monitor Rivers Hoopers at the BAL. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So that's Queen, our media officer, Rivers Hoopers, giving us updates from the Basketball Africa League. Let me just get Kehinde Idris to talk on this, but before we do that, a quick one in the UEFA Champions League game going on between Dortmund and PSG. Mats Hummels gave Dortmund the lead in the 50th minute. So PSG, they are down by a single goal. Aggregate is now 2-0. Not looking good for PSG, but hey, this is football where anything can happen. So we'll continue to monitor it. Kehinde Idris, were you part of those who didn't believe in Rivers Hoopers when they were traveling out of the country?
I've always believed in any Nigerian export, anybody, any team, any setup going to represent Nigeria, no matter how much of not so confident the team looks, I still find a way to support. I am that patriotic. And then Austin said, I am now supporting it, but said, good luck to your team. If you're supporting a team, it should be good luck to our team. And you're saying good luck to your team.
Okay.
That's for another day. But I believed in Rivers Supers, which made me follow from the start up until now. And I wish them, still all the very best. Because I know someday, somehow, it was going to get overturned. And this is the day. And there is something about us. We're just so tough inside. And then we take a lot of defeat, a lot of beating, but we still find a way to roar back. And I think Rivers Supers are right back. And
you're trying to put me into some sort of trouble with my guys from Rivers State. What I meant was because Queen is part of the team. She's the media officer. Okay. That's why I used that. Yes, Rivers Hoopers is our team. I will support our team. Thank you.
All right, talking about supporting team, Rebel Stars, after a long time, the first ever win, they came from a goal down to beat Rivers United 2-1. Yes, rescheduled game currently going on. Remember, the league is on the break till 27th of this month, yeah? They had to allow Rivers Supers to play all their home game. Now, prior to that game, all the 8 times Remo Stars have played against Rivers United, they've lost 6 and they draw 2. So because of those wins, they moved to second on the log with 56 points and 1 point behind league leaders Enugu Rangers. Visitors, of course, taking the lead. Penalty, and Diokwe, former player of Remo Stars, is cut down from the sports kick. There were 2 sports kicks in this game that wasn't given. But hey, you don't have elements of VAR, so you just have to referee use his own discretion for that. But again, the way the Blue Skies are flying now, 100% home record in 2024 in MPFL, conceded just 3 times against Abia Warriors, Aqua United, and now Rivers United. Remo, they're looking good. So Rangers should be afraid.
Yeah, they should be afraid. And Remo have made a statement of intent. We want to be here. I want to be here at the topmost level, not just, I want to make the continent. Remo knows with the way we are playing, we'll make the continent. What do you aspire for, beyond making the continent? It's to win the league. And last time out, they really, gave a lot. You know how the Super 6 went, but it wasn't enough. Now it's a marathon. Just continue to play your game. It doesn't depend on anything. And then, they have the chance. Yeah. And look at Rivers, 7 losses, 2 draws. That means Rivers has spanked Remo Stars over and over again. It has become something like, don't worry, we can't beat them. But they knew they needed this. They needed to do this, and they got all 3 points. And look at where it has put them, just right behind Rangers. And we still have 6 games, to run all the way to the finish line. And I think this remaining 6 games will feel like a Super 6 for so many teams, whether you're on the relegation side, trying to make continent or chasing the league. I'm enjoying how everything is panning out. And when you're discussing Rangers and also Remo, there is a huge team, Enyimba, in that mix. And Enyimba can snap up anything, even, 2 match days to go. But yesterday's game reminded us of how competitive the MPFL has been. And for Rivers, I think I'm a bit scared of what might happen to Rivers. Yeah. This leaving the pack of games up until now might not eventually help. No, it may just not. Some last week they were talking about how the presidential Federation's Cup fixture will border into their Premier League games and all of that. See, I think we need to do better instead of allowing this backlog of games. We're talking about 7 games before they started playing it, and now. They played Bielsa lost, played Remo lost, and an outstanding game is just an outstanding game. Yeah, 2 losses. It's not a guaranteed point.
2 losses back to back. Now, 13th on the log, 40 points from 28 matches. Austin, before you chip into this one, let's take a look at the league table. That's what it's looking like. Look at the top 4 and also bottom 4. Let's start off with the top 4. What we have here, Rangers International, after 32 games that they've played, they've won 17, drawing 6, and losing 9, goal difference of 15 and 57 points. Remo Stars, by virtue of that victory against Rivers United, they're on 56 points, of course, after 32, 17 wins, same with Rangers International. The difference is they've lost 1 more game than you have. Then Enyimba, of course, has lost also 1 more game than you have with Remo Stars or Rangers. Same numbers of games they played on, 17 wins also, but draws of 4, and they're on 55. Of course, goal difference of 12. You look at Shooting Stars, they're 4th on the log, and of course on 52 points. Let's take a look at those teams that are at the bottom. Of course, the Rivers United is not part of that. They're 13th on the log, 40 points from 28 games, not looking good for them. Now, Aqua United lead the pack in the bottom 4, 37 points after 32 matches. Sunshine Stars followed at 36 points, winning just 8 games so far this season. They've lost 11. Aqua United have lost more games than Sunshine Stars. Then you go to Heartland, of course. Heartland are 2nd from bottom, and of course Gombe United at the very least. They've lost 17 games so far this season. Now, Austin, the season is looking pretty good. 32 games. They're on break until May 25th, where regular games will start. That's after Rivers United would have played all their outstanding games and also the President's Federation Cup.
The league in the final stretch will definitely get us talking. Shout out to Remo Stars, for, mounting pressure at Rangers at the top. There's also Enyimba and, of course, other teams that, will be fighting to finish in the top 4. But Remo Stars, what a story. That level of dominance at home. With that win over Rivers United, they extended their perfect run at home in 2014 to 8 matches without dropping a point, without dropping any form of point. 8 straight wins. That's massive, because if you take a look at the league table before that game against Rivers United, they needed to do something. And what a time to get the winner. Frank's header in the 82nd minute tells you that they understood the need to keep fighting, keep pushing till they get the goal. and they got it. Now, for Rivers United, it gets tougher, and this is what I was trying to tell Fisayo Dairo the last time he was on the show, that these outstanding matches might just come back to haunt Rivers United. Now, they've lost to Remo Stars. You mentioned Bayelsa Queens also, they lost. Their next game is at home to Niger Tornadoes. They might win that one. Then, the remaining 3 matches are away matches. They will go to Kwara United, go to Sunshine Stars, and then go to Abia Warriors. I don't see them winning at Sunshine Stars. It will be difficult against Abia Warriors. They might pick points on the road here and there, but it's not guaranteed that they will win all 3 matches. And if they don't do that, then it means they will start digging deep, serious digging deep, to finish in the top 4 to make it to the continent, and it will just be difficult for Rivers United. A team that has been consistently, competing on the continent, now struggling to finish in the top 4. So I think the MPFL should find a way that we should have this league games going on despite whatever teams are competing on the continent, because now it's looking like it doesn't even favor Rivers United at all.
That's what it's looking like. I mean, people were saying that if they can play a weekend on Sunday, for instance, they can still play on Wednesday. That's if you don't have midweek games. So, well, I don't know how they're going to schedule it so that they don't have this backlog. I'm sure maybe the club actually decided. Most times they tell you that they can't play, they can't travel. And that's why they had to create it. Imagine creating a time.
For you to
almost a month. For you to play outstanding games.
I don't know. Because while Rivers United would have a game on Sunday.
Yeah.
And because of the game on Sunday, they wouldn't play the midweek game.
And
they won't still play the weekend game. And then they won't play the midweek game that follows.
No, wait.
I don't know.
Let's take a look at the Champions League. I mean, where the reorganized one, that is structured, I understand that. And if it's a Wednesday, it happens like that. Yes, Real Madrid and, of course, Bayern Munich. As I mentioned earlier, these 2 teams, 20 Champions League trophies among them, and why some teams are actually looking for just one. I mean, that holy grail. Manchester City looked for it for a long time. Last year, they finally got it. Now, PSG are on it, but Dortmund are currently leading 2-0 on aggregate. So PSG may just have to wait another year to see if they can win the Champions League. Austin, and then Real Madrid, Bayern, these 2 teams, they're starting all over again because the first leg ended 2-2. Was a draw, and the second leg, Santiago Bernabeu, where the fans and of course what Carlo Ancelotti can come up with. Vinicius Jr. is on fire, Anthony Cruz, oh my God, and you also have Thibaut Courtois back in the squad.
And there's also Jude Bellingham, who is on fire for Real Madrid too. So, but this is the business stage of the competition. This is where everyone will come out and just give their best. Look at what Dortmund. See what Dortmund is doing in Paris at the moment. You'd never expect that they will be leading that game against PSG. So Real Madrid, I've said it, that they love the UEFA Champions League. And yes, away goals don't count now, but it was good performance for Carlo Ancelotti's team, and they will want to sustain on the momentum when they take on Bayern Munich tomorrow. It can go anywhere, I tell you this, because Bayern Munich at the same time they're looking at themselves and they're still kicking themselves for missing out on the league title.
Right.
So they want to just do something. If the least they can do for themselves is to get to the final of the UEFA Champions League, they will take the heat to Real Madrid. But we'll wait to see. This is football, and I know anything can happen. That's the show, Cecilia. We don't have much time. I must say, welcome back to the program. I was carried away, I couldn't welcome you properly. It's good to have you back on the show. That's the show in London. I'm Austin O'Connor. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Ken Idris, just passing shot for you. Bayern, the last time they were at Wembley was 11 years ago, and it was against Dortmund.
Yeah.
Can they do it against
It looks
Bayern?
like it. And they took the day in Wembley. It looks like it. I think the German clubs should be kudos in this year's Champions League. And like you said, 2-2, we'll see how it goes at Bernabeu. These top teams, it can swing anywhere. But for Dortmund, I stuck my heads out for them, and I'm happy they're making you proud. Exactly.
Right.
Just like Rivers Supers.
Thank you so much for being on the program.
It's good to be always.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Have a good night, right?